In this episode, we're going to talk about how to protect real estate from a lawsuit. Now, it's not going to be what you think. It's going to be better. So whenever someone tells me they want to have a conversation with me about how to protect me from lawsuits, it's usually a bunch of legal mumbo jumbo. And I say mumbo jumbo. It's very effective in it. These people are studied and know what they're talking about, but it usually has to do with corporations, trusts, all kinds of liability documentation. And what I'm going to talk to you about today isn't all that. First of all, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a licensed lawyer, so I couldn't talk about that anyways, really. What I want to talk about is how I've stayed out of trouble my entire career. So we're going to talk about how to remove yourself as a target, how to complicate the fact that attorneys even want to sue you, and the golden rule of lawsuit avoidance. So how do you remove yourself as a target? Well, one of the reasons a lot of people get sued is they have properties that are free and clear in their name. So simply don't leave properties free and clear. The money had to come from somewhere. Always make a lien so that it goes back to where it came from and file that lien at the courthouse so that your property has a debt on it. Even if the debt's from your corporation to you, file the lien and make sure there's a representation of the debt that's on the property that's owed to you. So it's not complicated. If you're putting money into your LLC so that it has the money to buy a house, all I'm asking is that you have some documents drawn up, even if you have to pay a lawyer $150 or $200 to just draw up a lien showing that the LLC owes you back the money, and then have it filed at the courthouse so that a lien shows up on your property. When a lawyer looks at a house free and clear, he just sees a big pot of money sitting there waiting to be divided up. When he sees a house that's worth X and then there's a debt on it for X minus a little bit, there's a lot of debt on that house. There's not much to get. It's much less lucrative for him to go after that house because the house isn't free and clear. It has debt on it, and he can't erase that debt. And that's all there is to it. Don't leave houses or properties free and clear. Always have them encumbered with some kind of IOU. Now, there's other ways to just make it complicated for attorneys or not so simple. One is to use corporations, LLCs, or I like to use land trusts. You know, people say that property's in a land trust. Well, it's not that big a deal, but a lot of people associate trusts as very hard to penetrate and very hard to sue and win against. You might even name your land trust something that is very hard to penetrate, which would be like a family limited trust. Did you know that you can name your land trust so-and-so family limited trust? So even though it's not a limited trust, it sounds like it is. And that alone could keep you from getting in a lawsuit. It would take a whole nother level of investigation or want to dive in deeper and find out that that's not really a family limited trust. It's just named family limited trust. And now, my very favorite way to avoid lawsuits. It's the golden rule of lawsuit avoidance. And you know, it sounds a whole lot like the golden rule itself. Just do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Don't try to get clever. Don't try to hide things. Be fair. Treat the person that you're buying from or that you're selling from like you would like to be treated. That's kept me out of, I don't know, a million lawsuits I could have been in. I've been sued 3 times in my entire career over 2,000 houses that actually transacted in an acquisition and 2,000 sales because I sold everything I bought so far to date. So that's 4,000 transactions. And there's a whole bunch of transactions that I was in contract on, out of contract on, back in contract on, and then out again that didn't work out. Only 3 lawsuits. And if you really want to know how those 3 lawsuits happened, it was 3 people I tried to help and get off the street. I put 3 people into a home so that they could get SSI, they could get welfare, they could get all kinds of food stamps and stuff. Because you see, those organizations don't send checks to bridges. So I had this benevolent idea to go help some people and set them up with all their benefits. All they had to do was pay a measly $200 or $300 a month for this house, and I had, $1,800, $2,500 coming in, and they would be in a much better place in life. But it didn't work out that way. The money did come in. They were in my house. They did get their checks. They just never would even pay the $200 or $300 that I was asking. This is exactly how I got into my 3 lawsuits. Today it would never happen. I know exactly who they are. I know exactly why it happened. And those people would never make it 3 feet inside my door. But make no mistake, I was in 3 lawsuits because I tried to help some very broken people, and that brokenness just couldn't be fixed. One thing I would like to add in this episode, because it's just coming to me right now. Since then, because of those 3 lawsuits, and I won all 3 of those lawsuits. They cost me about 40 grand a piece to win though, and that's the problem. There's no winning in court. So you avoid lawsuits at all cost. And you do that by being fair. Another golden rule that I learned was, if you want to do charity, then go give your money at the church, go volunteer at the church, do whatever you want, but you don't do charity with houses because it's very difficult to get people out of them sometimes. So you want to do charity, don't do it in the house business, unless you just want to give them a house, deed it, put it in their name and walk away. But you don't let people live in your houses as charity because that can become very, very legally cumbersome. I would like to offer you the first 100 pages of my first book, My Life in 1,000 Houses, Failing Forward to Financial Freedom. This is an autobiographical account of how a dummy learned how to make a little bit of money and do it over and over and over again. It was a long, tedious process, and it's all about falling down, getting up, dusting off, morphing, falling down, getting up, dusting off, and morphing again, over and over and over. I think you'll find the story interesting, and just to test it out, free, you can get the first 100 pages right now. Just go to 1000houses.com/free-stuff and scroll down till you see first 100 pages free. And as always, if this episode has been enlightening or helpful, please hit that like button and share it with your friends, and also subscribe. There is a huge amount of information coming your way. We're going to be putting stuff out almost daily, so please subscribe. I'm sure I can help you improve your business.